I did some digging after all our fans were commenting saying, you guys need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. So I did some digging. Obviously, he had the few penalties on Monday night, but Taylor is fourth in the league in penalties, in individual player penalties, with 7, 5 false starts, 2 holding penalties. The Chiefs as a whole have 27 penalties on the season. So Jawaan accounts for about 25% of those himself, which is pretty jarring. So JD, are you as alarmed by his play as most of the kingdom is? Because everyone just up in arms about his contract. I mean, whenever fans start counting a guy's money and they talk about his play versus how much he's getting paid, it's like, whoa, we're paying all this guy all this money, and like he hasn't really been what we thought he was going to be for the right tackle spot. And then you add in the penalties, it's like, holy crap, like what are we paying this guy for? But JD, I will say this: I know we drafted Kingsley. We drafted one. He was a right tackle. We do have the makings for potential if we do want to move off. I don't know what his dead money is, but I'm saying we do have a couple guys who can play right tackle if need be, if that is where they want to go. But JD, are you as alarmed with Jawaan Taylor's play as most of the kingdom is?
Am I alarmed? When I look at the full games of Jawaan Taylor, he does a pretty decent job. He's not a bad right tackle at all, by no means. What is amplified is the penalties. I think it goes into who he is as a player. So I don't know if it's a lack of focus. I don't know if it's just him trying to get a jump on some of these defensive ends, which the league is paying them more money. That's the reason they gave these jokers, the defensive ends, a whole lot of money. They're the second highest paid position in football. Second highest. There's a reason. Because that's their specialty. Specialty come in and come get the football. That's what they're doing. And so Jawaan Taylor has to do a much better job focusing on the snap count, focusing on getting his hands inside. And he knows at a certain point you got to let a guy go. And look, we all know it as blockers, okay? If you got a guy by his neck and he's trying to get around you, you already know that is a very sensitive spot that it could be called holding. You understand that. You're right there on the cusp, like it could be holding, they could call that. That you should know these things in your head as offensive tackle, as a guy that's blocking pass rushers. It's not an easy job. I'm disappointed in the amount of penalties that he has. I'll say that. I say that. And like Andy was upset, like Andrea said, Andy was upset the whole world saw Monday night after Noah didn't get the touchdown. Absolutely. And I said that, Marcus. I said it in the things we had to do for keys to victory. Eliminate the stupid penalties. Because those penalties, holding, false starts, backs us up, takes point. This one resulted in taking points off the board. Changes up our offense, puts us in bad field position, changes what we're going to do play calling wise, and it's a drive killer. It's all those things. So sometimes those things could even go to the point where you're thinking like, you just not only cost us a touchdown in this game, but you can almost cost us a game by doing things like that. And I know the guy's just trying to do his job. I don't mind guys giving effort. I don't mind. Sometimes holding's an effort thing. It really is, because you're trying to get your hands right. You're trying to hold the guys to the best of your ability. Like I said, you could call holder on every single play if you wanted to. But he needs to understand, man, they're looking at him more than anybody else. They're gonna be looking at him, and they're gonna call it. Hey, man, watch, 74 holding. Watch what he's doing. I guarantee it. If I'm a coach, I would say it every chance I got. As soon as the Chiefs go on offense, watch 74 holding. Watch 74 holding. And I'll be saying it from the stands. I would say it on the sideline. I'm going to make sure the refs hear it. Okay? So I'm going to put something subconsciously in their mind to be watching 74. Okay? But he can't do it. He can't put it in precarious positions, costing us scores, field position. Those things are unacceptable. Okay. And he needs to be held accountable for that. The one where we've seen him get better from lining up off sides, he fixed that. Okay. He fixed it. So this right here, the false starts, he's got to fix that too. So I wouldn't sit him down. I know Rick Henderson. I knew here go Rick. OT stink. They don't stink. They're doing some stinky things. They're doing some really bad things, Rick. I agree with you on that. Jawaan Taylor, this game didn't have one of his best games. Now, I leave it up to them, Andy and those guys, how they decide to deal with it. This is a long season. All you can do is ask for him to get better than what he's doing. We don't have another right tackle on the team to just take Jawaan Taylor out because we don't like what he did. We just don't.
No, my point was we have guys for the future. Like, if you want to make Wanye or your right tackle or whatnot, and that's what he was naturally coming out of college, you can work with that in the offseason. But right now, no, you're not benching him for any reason, just because he's false starting or whatever.
Yeah, it's something he got to get better, man. Hold him accountable for what he's doing and make sure he's getting better. Those are the things that you have to do. Other than that, I mean, it's on him. It's on him. That's bottom line. So when it becomes detrimental, then that's when it's like it's a problem, an issue, and it's been detrimental this past year. The things that's been going on. So hopefully this bye week, we'll see another Jawaan Taylor coming in after the bye week, getting better, and we'll look at it that way. So Rick Henderson said it's funny they never paid attention to him in Jacksonville when he did the same thing. It could be true. And Rick, you're absolutely right. It's the same thing we were talking about up there in Philadelphia.
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson is almost all sides every snap.
No.
Never calls it. Never. And I remember we went through, we was talking about to Gia Diapolis, right? Remember Marcus? And I was like, Lane Johnson does the same, jumping outside. He said, you know what? Sometimes they'll let guys get away with it. But if you see it, if I can see it in my eyes that I can see Jawaan Taylor before the snap, it's just blatant, like, oh no, he's offside. You can't do that. A false start. You can't do that. So
it is weird because last year it was happening, right? He was getting called for the penalties. He got benched for a little bit. They took him out in that one game because it kept happening. And it seemed like he stopped doing it. But then we come back to this season, he goes back to doing that again. It's like, what happened? You would think when he stopped doing it last year, the kind of moving early, you think you kind of broke that habit. But then we start over again this year. He goes right back to the old habit.
Well, last year was more the lining up. That's where he was getting dinged for more than anything else. Remember, he wasn't breaking the plane of the center with his alignment. Yeah. That was the main thing they was getting on him for. So, the whole false start, that's a lack of focus. And I get you're trying to get a jump on the defensive end. You have to, right? Like I said, these guys getting paid a whole lot of money because that's what they're here to do. But his responsibility to stop those guys, his responsibility to focus up to make sure those things don't happen. And he's got to be more disciplined in doing that. He has to be. So that's about all I can say about it. Shoot, what else you want me to say? Get rid of the guy?
Ridiculous.
I'm not saying, not you, but I'm just saying for other people making an argument on those things, Jawaan Taylor's our best right tackle. Matter of fact, if you look at actually how he's been performing against defensive ends in the league, he's probably one of the best right tackles in the league right now, as far as against the pass. So you could take that for what it's worth. At least PFF was sitting there saying that's where he was. So it's kind of a give and take thing, man. Like, look, you can do a good job against the pass rush what he has been, but you got to make sure keep those hands inside, okay, and make sure you're listening to the snap count. You can't be too fast. That's one of those, like, you can't let that happen. That's lack of focus. Lack of focus.
But
So
JD, based on your assessment, I know because everyone goes to you when it comes to blocking. Obviously, we go to you for a lot of things, but especially with blocking and play, I know everyone wants to talk about the penalties, which they are a problem. And we're talking about accounting for 25% of the team's penalties on the year. One guy doing that, that's an issue. But as far as play wise, I know you mentioned the PFF numbers. What do you see for the people who do want to knock on Jawaan Taylor? What do you see from your eye test that he does well from the at the right tackle spot? You're like, no, he's a good right tackle. He just needs to clean this stuff up.
Yeah, but he's because when he commits the penalties, oh, here it is again, right? He's the same culprit, right? Somebody's like, I guarantee it's Jawaan Taylor or somebody else, right? But it's more important they say it's Jawaan Taylor. And it's a shame that it is him most of the time. You said 25% of the penalties, that should happen. It shouldn't happen. That's lack of focus, man. He's got to get better. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. So the reality is it's the same off productions. It don't matter who it is. Jawaan Taylor, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Sky Moore, Cook, Bolton, whoever it has to be. If your game ain't that tight, you got to get better. If not, then there's a replacement. If not, they start looking further down the line in the future. So somebody said he's got pretty good feet. He lined up with the running back. It's funny, Rick. It's fun. Let me see what Daryl said, because Andre said, Daryl, I agree. So what did Daryl, what'd you say up here? Taylor's not going anywhere, nor should he. They get it cleaned up. Left tackle is an experience issue, in my opinion. Maybe the Chiefs make a trade, it should be OT. I agree Taylor's not going anywhere, nor should he. I agree. They'll get it cleaned up. I agree. Left tackle is an experience issue, in my opinion. Definitely. I think Jawaan Taylor has shown part of that he's been able to do what he's able to do. We kind of knew it going into it. Maybe the Chiefs make a trade, it should be for OT. I think Jawaan Taylor has shown that he's doing a good job right now. That's not as much of a issue for us at this moment, Daryl, and I agree with you at the very beginning of the season. And the simple fact because Wanye was hurt and was thinking about it. But it's interesting what you say. It is interesting what you say. I'm not, you know what? It's not a bad thought. For the simple fact of like depth, when you're going to bring a guy in that's going to start, is the question. Like, you got to bring a guy. Look, and I'm going to tell you something. Let me be honest with you. And this is what I'm talking about, Daryl. There's a lot of bad tackle play out there this season. I've seen a whole lot of it. So it ain't just us.
I think that's the reason why. I think that's the reason why offensive numbers have declined across the league. Everyone wants to say cover two. No, I think it's the offensive lines declined.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you do, but I think they're both like, there's a correlation. Cover two, you got to make sure, okay, deep ball, right? But these suckers are making sure, man, just give me 3.5 seconds to get back there. Yeah. And that's the timing in the head. Or if you're sitting back further than everybody else, that's another thing I got to look at. So all these guys, man, they're measuring every possible thing where there's a weakness. And so with us, I'll say this. Part of our weakness on the left tackle with Wanye, what I see, is his feet gets a little lazy, that sometimes inside moves on him are a little harder. They got around him when Chase Young got the one tackle, the one sack. I don't know if was this after he had gotten hurt. That's one thing I wanted for sure. I had to go back to that. But he got lazy with his leg on the kick step. He didn't get back all the way. His hands was too late. And Chase just swatted him away and got around him. That was probably one of his worst reps I've seen Wanye since he's been out there. So, but yeah, it's been some bad tackle play all around the league. And Marcus, like you said, you see it. There's been some bad tackle, man. So,
yeah, I mean, when defenses are getting back there with rushing 3 or 4 consistently, that's a problem. That's a problem all around the league. And so I'm seeing, Tony Yahoo winning and complaining. What a problem to have. Like our offensive line, yes, we got to clean up these penalties that Jawaan Taylor has, but our offensive line play, as much as people want to dog it and say, well, tackles are an issue, it's not. Go watch a Browns game and go tell me how offensive tackle plays in that, because it's rough.
Yeah. Tony Yao said, winning and complaining, what a problem to have. No question, Tony. No question about it. No question. So, we're complaining a little bit from our little plush seats. We sitting over here and, and could have the luxury to say those things. And we sitting over here 5-0. Okay. And we're such a good team because we know how to win. We know how to put these things together to get that W. And that's a very important part to understand how this thing's going to look later on down the season. And so I trust these guys. These guys, they do a good job of having each other's backs. And so if we have to, same thing, give help on chips, which I have seen us do on Wanye. I've seen it on the right tackle too. We'll be fine. We'll scheme it up that way. That's fine. We ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. Chase Young got the tackle because we had the free release on it. One, he got the sack. But
there was one play, I forgot what it was, but Hunt was on the left side of Mahomes. He comes back across, and the guy was coming on the right side where Jawaan was, and he gave a hell of a block, man. It gave Pat extra time. I think that was a play where I think that might have been the play where he threw to Jody Fortson. I know it was like a 5-yard play, but like just the effort there and seeing Hunt on the left side of Mahomes, seeing on the right side come back and give a nice block to help out Jawaan Taylor was so beautiful.
Scan, man. You got to scan and shoot. That's what running backs are good running backs. They know how to block, know how to scan the right way and go from right side to the left. That's hard. That is a hard thing to do, man. And not disrupt Patrick, not be in his way.
Yeah.
Tough.
Dream special, man. He is special.
Come on, baby. Go. Yes.
That's a first down. It's a first down. It's a first down.
This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients.
Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being.
So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs.
Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now. We're going to go to the offensive line. How do you have these guys grading out?
O-line. I think the interior line did a great job. Even Wanya Morris, Jawaan Taylor did a good job in the run game. They were actually doing some good blocking, some good double teams, getting up to the second level. It could have been better on Jawaan Taylor's side. So the guys did a great job. I seen Creed Humphrey throw, I don't know if it was a DB or linebacker, threw him straight out the club. He took him over to the sideline and put him on the coach's leg. I said, who was doing this? And nobody from the Saints sideline tried to run over like, hey man, what are you doing? They just like, hey man, you just got your tail kicked. What are we supposed to do about that? All they can do is just pick the guy up, man. Hey man, try it next time, okay? Go at it again. It was so funny to see because he was, he runs with that little, he got that little walk on him, and he just kind of like threw him out like a bouncer and then just kind of walked away slowly. I was like, he's a bad boy, man. Ain't nobody touching that. Ain't nobody want no part of that thing right there. So Creed, man, looked incredible. Trey Smith had a holding call on him too. You say Wanya Morris, he got hurt. King Suwate came in, seen a little bit of him, which was decent, but Wanye came in. He came back in. So heart of a warrior, mind of a champion, okay? He wanted to come out to get his jobs done. And so the offensive lineman, in lieu of everything that happened, I was generous with them because of Kareem Hunt running the way that he wanted to run. Okay. You see some of the lanes and it was kind of clear for him to see. He made some jump cuts. These guys is out there, they were thrashing these dudes against a good defensive line. New Orleans Saints, they have a good defensive line. We start going through and seeing all the guys they got. They're like, dang God, these guys are for real. No reason they've always been like one of the top defenses in the league. And so I gave our offensive lineman a B- is what I gave him. I actually gave him a B-. Okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not
It's a
bad.
collective. It's a collective grade. So if there's
grade. Yes, it's collective grade.
Yep.
So Lacey Snake C+. Oh, Lacey's. Oh, she hard on. I see you, Lacey. Hey. Now I got no problem with it. So Andrea says too. She said a C as well. No problem with it whatsoever. I think I seen where's Ricky Henderson. Ricky, man, he's been on the tackles. You want to talk about them? I seen some of our comments on YouTube. Ricky was on them jokers, man. Teach from Southern Cal. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the 10. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother.
So our tackles are a weak point. They are not the strength of our offensive line, for sure, but they are very good tackles. They're very good tackles. I think Jawaan Taylor is a good tackle. Now he has to do much better. He has to do much better. C, because we didn't get the touchdown. Which one, Andrea? You talking about the one on the pass? Is that the one you're talking about? Because it wasn't the offensive lineman's fault. Because I know they wanted to run the football.
She's talking about the Noah Gray touchdown.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That was our guy right there, Jawaan.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Andrea, okay. So B-, C+. And we'll live right there with it. We'll live right there.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.